Hello Leo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if this reading resonates with you, alright? This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide, okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, the 19th mystery of the tarot, the Sun card, beautiful card. Let's see how that energy is going to be your kind of greatest asset this week, okay, for the next 7 days. Now we're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread, and as I lay these cards out, I want to just say that if there's anything you need me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below. I read every comment, okay? Continuing with the path of the Serpent over here on this side, I feel a lot of really great energy coming from these cards for you today. This is really extraordinary. We have a lot of major arcana. I mean a lot. A couple of court cards. Before we forget, let's do our mystery card though. And this is the card that we're going to set aside. We're not going to look at it until the very end of things. And hopefully this will tie the reading together, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. So I encourage you to stick around to the end so we can see how this all comes together. Now we've got major, 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 major. A couple of court cards. Over on the path of the Serpent, we've got major, another court card. And then we've got some fire. It is a very, very active week for you. I think that there is a lot that's going to be revealed to you. I think that any doubts or any confusion you had about literally anything, I think are going to be, there's going to be some light shined upon that. And let's take a look at this Sun card. This is the first card that we took out. And this is the Sun. And the Sun does rule the sign of Leo. So I feel like this is really, this is a week where you're going to be bringing out the very best qualities of yourself, okay? Your pride, your ambition, your leadership, your confidence, and I think this ability for you to objectively look at the situation. Right? This is really you shining a light on everything that's going on and really coming to a good understanding of what it is, why it is. Okay? This is you really seeing your way forward into something. This is really you seeing things in such a clear light with such a clear understanding that any confusion is gone. Okay? And I think you're usually a very confident person. You're usually someone that can maybe suspend judgment until you get all of the facts, right? This is really something hidden being brought out into the open with this sunlight, okay? And I think that's typically how you try to present yourself, right? You don't jump to conclusions. You don't act too hastily. You don't kind of jump the gun on things, right? You try to be very thoughtful, but not in a passive way, not in a way that might appear as weak, okay? You have this very, very assertive confidence about you, and I apologize for my voice. I think we're getting another round of our head and chest cold this week. Try to bear with me, okay? Anyway, back to you. You have this confidence that I think other people admire. Other people look up to it. And I think probably in your life you've had people say, God, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you go through all of these troubles or these like problems or all the things that come up in life that are just like little obstacles being here and there thrown in your way. You just seem to do it with such a great attitude, with such a confidence that I think the people around you are like, I don't know why are you smiling, you know? But I feel that energy from you. And I think this week is a very good time for you to tap into that, okay? From right now that you're watching this video, 7 days into the future is going to be very important for you. because I feel like something is going to be brought out into the light. Something that's been hidden from you, something that's been confusing, something that you haven't been able to figure out. Okay? And now we're going to go to the recent past, because on the path of the dove here, look at the overhead camera. This is all major arcana. This is all major arcana. What you are doing in your horizontal world, the path that you're on, the steps that you are taking, the goals that you are charging toward, I think, literally, have a very deep significance to your life. Okay? It's a very spiritual path that you're on, even if you may not look at it that way. And that's all right. It's very meaningful to have all of these major arcana cards in the horizontal path and as your central focus. It means you know yourself, you know your path, you know your will, you know your goals, your meaning, your purpose. It's all very, very well defined for you, and you're pursuing that. Just these 4 cards right here would be the perfect reading, the absolute perfect reading. And this still may get close to the perfect reading, but we have these court cards to deal with. And the first one that I think we should talk about is this air sign person. Because they're crossing this sun card, so I think this has something to do with what you're trying to figure out. The one thing in all of your work that's still a little bit kind of confusing. You don't understand what's going on here. I think this is someone who doesn't seem as committed as you are. I feel like you're doing some really, really wonderful work. And you have all of this ambition, all of this confidence, all of this real spiritual energy in you, around you, behind you, propelling you forward. But this person here, I think your air sign person, someone close to you, someone involved here, could be a spouse, could be a sibling, a coworker, somebody that's involved in this work. They just you don't feel like they have the same heart in it as you do, right? And I feel that they're still trying to sort things out. They're still trying to figure out if this is their path too. You know what I mean? Or if they're just kind of latched onto you. Do you know what I mean? This is someone who, it feels kind of like a coworker to me. But I'm also getting a closeness between the two of you. It could be a friend / coworker. You know what I mean? Something like that. But they're trying to figure out if their path kind of overlaps with yours, right? If the two of you are kind of going parallel, or if it just isn't meant for them, okay? So I feel like they're having these kinds of doubts or hesitations, and to you, it feels like they're just not really into it, and you can't figure out what's going on with them. I think what's going on is that they are simply overwhelmed by all of this ambition and confidence and enthusiasm, this spiritual force that you have. I think they're honestly a little bit intimidated by that. Okay? They feel a little bit almost defensive because they don't want their own life path to be overshadowed by just the enormity, the intensity of what you're doing. You know? So I feel like you're doing this really, really great work, and you're trying to figure out why this person just seems a little bit off. It seems like they're not quite as into it as you are. And I don't really see that that's weighing you down very much, but I do see this water energy beneath you. And I think this is some striving, unconscious desire in you. That you want to share this with everyone. That you want everyone to be as excited about this as you are, right? That you almost feel if the people around you, maybe this air sign person in particular, if they're not in it with you, then it's incomplete. Something is lacking here. So you're trying to almost give this person some of your enthusiasm, some of this spiritual force. Does that make sense? And I don't think we can, but it's like you're trying to you're just trying to share some of this energy with them, hoping that they will absorb some and pick some of that up, you know. Because I think that if, like I said, if everybody isn't succeeding, if everyone isn't as like jazzed up about this as you are, you start to lose a little bit of your fire. You know what I mean? So I feel beneath everything that this is a Knight of Cups. I feel like this is you trying to share that fire with other people, right? Because it's not the same if like you're the one that's very, very excited, but this other person is just like, yeah, it's okay. They don't have that enthusiasm that you need, that you want to be able to feed off of them. You want it to be a real like symbiotic relationship, you know. So I think that is that's what we're going to get some clarity about in the next 7 days, I feel. Because this sun energy really is illuminating everything in regards to this situation. Everything's going to be revealed to you. Anything that you may have had questions about. Now, I want to go directly to the immediate future, because the way that this is kind of playing out is with this Lust or Strength card. This is the Leo card, okay? This is the Leo card. We have the Sun and we have Leo. So I think perhaps even in this instance, you will be able to kind of to share your fire with this person and kind of bring them into the same level of excitement, of enthusiasm. They will tune into your frequency with this Lust or Strength card. I feel like your fire, your confidence this week is infectious. You know what I mean? I think just being around you, the person, if this is one particular person, this air sign person, they're not going to be able to help themselves. They are going to get so fired up about this. Whatever this is, I don't know if this is it feels like a work project. It could be a creative project, maybe your own business, maybe your own artistic, creative work that you're doing. It could be something at the home. This could be a family member. It could be a romantic partner, and we could be talking about your overall plan for the rest of your life, right? We could be talking about something that's on a larger scale than just what you're working on, you know, at work or something this week. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of think that even if this does have specific details for this week, I think there is a larger life plan involved here, a bigger scale, right? A larger scope, a longer timeline, because we have this Wheel of Fortune card at the top. Okay. But let's finish with this Leo card, the Lust card, the Strength card. I feel like you have so much of this fire within you that you've got more than enough to share some with the other people involved and bring everybody up to this exalted state, right? This divine harmony that is going to just sing and resonate at such a fever pitch that this is going to be the most spiritual, religious, divine, intense, creative experience of all of your lives, right? But I feel like you're the battery of this. You're the source of this fire, and I think you're the source of the creativity. I think this was your plan. This was your project to begin with. Okay, and with this Leo energy, this is really, again, you are using all of your best assets. Every tool in your toolbox is in perfect working order and will be applied to the correct object, the correct job, you know. And you'll have tremendous success. And the success isn't even really a concern. The success is pretty much guaranteed. We don't even really need to talk about whether or not this is going to work. I think what the questions are is, why isn't this person, or maybe it's more than one person, why aren't they as fired up about this as I am? Why does it appear as if they don't have the heart that I do, right? Well, I think they do. I think they just need to draw on your energy a little bit, your fire, your enthusiasm, right? They need a little bit of your spirit in this thing. And I think that they will they will rise up kind of to your level with this, with the interest and the commitment here. Okay. But if there's anything else that's confusing you about this work that you're doing, or this overarching life plan that you have on the larger scale, all of those questions are going to be revealed to you this week. Okay? There's going to be no stone left unturned. There's going to be no shadow left to be explored here. You're going to have everything quite illumined. Okay? Now, in the recent past, we see this devil energy. Okay? I think that this was something that you started by yourself. This was kind of a solo project that you were doing. And you maybe brought in this air sign person. Maybe they're a spouse, a friend, a coworker that kind of wanted to get on board. You're bringing them into the project. And now you're starting to have questions. Are they really committed? Do they really want this? Are they as hungry as I am? Right? Because you were fine doing this on your own. You were climbing that mountain just like the goat, like this devil energy, and you were making progress. And I think that you, being who you are, you would like to share it, right? You would like to have some friends, some loved ones to enjoy this with, right? Even though you're perfectly capable of doing it on your own with this devil energy. And I think you were for some time, okay? I'm getting an A name here somewhere. I'm seeing the letter A. And I don't know if that's the name of the project, if that's the name of this air sign person, or if this is something to do with when you were, climbing that mountain solo. If there's some kind of an A initial here somewhere. I'm thinking that this might be, I almost feel like this is a sibling of yours that we're talking about, this air sign person. Because I feel like you were going it alone and you were fine with that. You probably wanted to stay just doing this, like just this is my gig and I'm doing it that way. I could do it the way I want it. I don't have to, I don't have to tolerate any differing opinions. I don't have to compromise. But this person, I almost feel like they're a sibling, if it's brother, sister, because I almost feel like it's a younger person and you now kind of have to bring them on board. It's almost like your mom says, hey, take your little brother with you. It almost feels like that. Okay. Now, I don't know if they're the A-name person, and I don't know if there's some obligation to do this with them. That's what I'm feeling. So it could be like a sibling obligation, but there's just something. Maybe it could be a spouse, I guess, too. But you feel almost obligated to bring them. And I think that has a lot to do with this Wheel of Fortune card. This is like your overarching destiny, your long-term life plans and goals. I think you're very much focused, very much aware that everything you're doing now is going to have effects down the road. Okay? What you're doing right here with all of this energy is almost creating a legacy, right? This is, I think, and especially with all of this major arcana, I feel like you're creating something that's going to outlive you, right? Something that is going to exist in perpetuity, long after we're gone, right? It could be a piece of art, music, it could be a business, it could be anything. So many possibilities, right? But I feel like what you're creating is very serious, right? And it's almost so serious that you don't really have time to kind of bring this neophyte, this novice on board and have to kind of show them how to do everything, or just wondering if they're as hungry as you know. You need someone who is either as committed, as hungry as you are, like this goat, or you'd rather just do it yourself. You don't want to be weighed down with some extra weight, right? It'll all be revealed to you with that sun energy this week, the next 7 days. So I feel like you are kind of focused on the greater implications of this work. What is it going to mean after you're gone? What is it going to mean to your kids' kids, etc., down the line? So you're working on something very special. Very special. Now I'd like to go to the path of the serpent here because we see more very special things over here. The first thing is this Mercury energy. You are like the puppet master here. You are the ring master, the magician. You are front and center stage in the spotlight. It's all on you. I think you're the one that started this. You're the one that's creating this. You're the one that is probably literally doing everything, right? You're the master. And I think you have such a control over all of your qualities, right? We're calling the Leo qualities. But not just Leo, it's your entire soul or personality. Every tool that you have in your toolbox, you are applying to the correct object in the correct manner, with the correct force, and everything is coming together according to your vision. According to your vision. And it's interesting that the very next card that we have is this Princess of Discs. So the magician is utilizing all of the elements, the 4, 5 technically, all of the elements at its disposal. Perfect master of all of the elements. Able to create, to do magic, right? To create something tangible and visible, seemingly out of nothing. To manipulate matter and energy in such a way that you can produce anything. It defies belief. It defies understanding, right? It's true magic. Not illusionism, right? You're not creating just the illusion of success or some there's smoke and mirrors kind of thing. No, you are producing tangible things. And that's the Princess of Discs. Tangible things. The potential for really unlimited success. So if we did have a question about, well, is this actually going to produce any kind of fruit? Is this really going to be successful? Am I going to see any kind of benefit from all of this work? Or is this just something that I'm creating purely for the legacy of it, right? Purely for the next generation and on and on and on. No, I think this is going to have some real benefits to you right here, right now. Okay? But it all depends on how you utilize this Mercury energy. What is your vision? You have to kind of receive this spiritual blueprint, right? You have to download the blueprints, the schematics, and then you have to do the work, and you have to use every tool that you have, every skill that you have. Use all of the elements that you're in control of. And this Princess of Discs is going to produce whatever seed you plant, right? Whatever effort you put in, whatever intention, whatever schematics you're working off of, whatever materials you put in, whatever the source code is, that's what you're going to get out. That's what she is going to birth into the world. So this is really unlimited. You're only limited by your own imagination, honestly, right? Only limited by your own imagination. Now, interestingly, the cards that we see next talk a little bit about imagination. We've got an 8 of Wands here. This is your imagination. See the rainbow up there? That is what we imagine what's at the end of the rainbow, right? Some say it's a pot of gold. Some say it's the land of Oz, or it's the spiritual realm on the other side of that rainbow. It's the unknown. It's the mystery. And through that rainbow is our imagination. So whatever is on the other side of that, it's going to look how we imagine it to look. Because essentially it doesn't look like anything. It's nothing. It's not a material thing of the senses. It's not going to look like anything. It's our personality, our soul, our spirit, our imagination that gives it form. Okay? But this card's in the position of your fears, worries, concerns. So do you have doubts about your own creative ability? Does that sometimes come up with you as as one of these kind of self-doubts, which we don't see any significant air energy, just this air sign person here. But we don't see a lot of self-doubt, a lot of second-guessing, or a lot of negative self-talk. I'm not seeing that here. But I feel like there's part of you that kind of is worried that what if you're just not creative enough to know kind of what to wish for, right? What kind of schematic to download, what source code to put in. You know your abilities, you know that you could create anything that you can imagine, but geez, what should I imagine? What should I envision? What should this look like? And a lot of this, I think, is some natural kind of second guessing ourselves. It seems very natural. I honestly don't think you have anything to worry about all of this major arcana here. I think if you allow the Spirit to work through you, you'll be surprised at what kind of creativity comes out of you, right? And that's exactly what we see next with the Nine of Wands, strength. The head and the heart combined, conscious, unconscious, the horizontal and the vertical worlds combined, interacting, one flowing through the other, cooperating. We see the above and the below, the heavenly and the earthly realms, the head and the heart, right? So if you listen to, if you act almost spontaneously from the heart, what comes out of you is going to almost feel like it came from somewhere else, right? And I think anyone who is a creative, who does any kind of music or writing or anything creative, you can get in that zone where it's like this stuff is just flowing through you. And then you end up, you wrote a book, you don't know where that came from. It just flowed through you. Well, it came from deep within you. It came from your heart. It came from your unconscious, the core of your unconscious, which is informed by the Spirit, right? And I think that's where that creativity comes from. And that's something where we kind of bypass the internal checkpoints. We bypass the buffers, right? The ego doesn't try to judge every little bit of creativity that's coming through, right? The ego steps aside. This creativity just comes out, floods into our minds, and we just express it. We just put it down on paper or canvas or on a track or whatever, into the world. We give it form through our senses, something that is intangible, something that has no form, that is pure spirit, right? And, I'm very excited for whatever you're creating. I hope you'll share it with us here at the channel and, at least maybe drop us a hint or something about what you're up to, because it's very interesting to me. I love artists. I love creative people. And we can be creative in so many ways. Even someone who sees themselves as a strict rational, scientific mind, right? Not an artist, not a painter, not a musician, not a writer. Even those kinds of minds are intensely creative, right? It's just a lot of the work that we do, we don't necessarily see it as creative. But I think we need to. I think it's important to get back to that. We're going to get to this mystery card. So many major arcana. Gosh, I'm just going to go ahead and say this is going to be more major arcana, because we've already got a lot. And I think that's the emphasis here, is that this is all being taken care of, right? This is all, it's not really your choice anymore. You're flowing with this current, right? You're flowing with this river, and you're not fighting against it. You're not swimming against the current. You're not trying to just cross the river. No, you're immersed in it. You're flowing with it. So I think this is going to, in some way, be some water energy. indicating some motion, some flow. I'm thinking Chariot card. Thinking Chariot. We have the connection to Cancer. There's the water. The movement. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. The Chariot card. So we're prepared for this. It's not like we just kind of jumped into the river and it's carrying us away and we're like, oh shit, what do we do? No, you're prepared. You have everything you need. You've done the work. You've trained. You've gained the knowledge. You've done your research. You've done the hard work. You've prepared. Right? And that's paying off because now you're ready to kind of hop in the river and go with this spiritual current, this magical current, and see where it takes you. Now, it could be that you don't have a very well-defined destination. That's okay. Spirit does. Spirit does. And it's all right if we're confident in our abilities and we trust in Spirit and we have this, because this Jupiter energy, this Wheel of Fortune, this is faith, this is hope, that's trust in the larger process that we cannot possibly be aware of completely in its entirety. So you've gotten geared up, you've prepared as much as you could, and now you're going with the flow. You're off on this journey. And that's very exciting. I'm very excited for what you're up to. And I think this is a good confirmation that we're on this, that we're not fighting against this, that perhaps during these 7 days with this solar, this illumination, this sun card, illuminating everything for you, any questions or doubts that you may have had, now everything is being clear. Now maybe you can fully immerse yourself in this spiritual current and let it take you away. Right, now that any doubts have been cleared up, any misunderstandings in your mind have been cleared up, now you can fully immerse yourself in it. And we're going to immerse ourselves in the extended reading. If you want to stick around, you can click on the link that's right here. You can have access to all of the extended readings. This was your weekly reading on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you.